And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Tour Operator. Now, the thing about going on tours, and I love to go traveling. Who doesn't like to go see great sites like the Great Wall or this bell in Korea or other things that I didn't have here? I like to go around and visit things. And yet, some of our worst stories also come from this, right? Because of the plane ride, or because of the hotel we had to stay at, or because of whatever. You know, finding these trips, finding the deals, and especially these travel agencies, well, that's who you are in this game. You are the travel agency dealing with annoyed people like you because they wanted to fly in business class and couldn't, or they want to stay in a nice hotel room, or what have you. You're trying to get the most points by pleasing tourists. Here's how it plays. Players are going to be building an area that will have a bunch of city cards in it. So there's a lot of different city cards that you'll put out. And each city card is going to show there's different kinds of tourists. Some tourists are looking for the nightlife. Some are wanting to go exploring. And this shows how many points a tourist will get who likes that certain type of thing going to that area. And then there's some activities that can be done. And so you're going to place these in a grid here, and what players are going to be doing is they're going to be using an airplane starting on a grid and then moving around the grid trying to visit these different cities. So here each player is going to have their own hotel and their own airplane and their own tour agency here, the tourist agency. And so in these spots you're going to be putting various tourists. So there's a whole pile of tourists, and each round of the game players are going to be drawing these and they're going to be essentially drafting them. You'll keep a couple and pass some on. And these tourists are going to show up. Now these tourists show what kind of things they're wanting to see in the spots that you go to, and in fact some will get bonus points if they go to different areas that have those. They also will show on there basically how temperamental they are, in a sense. Like if you get these people, how annoyed are they? Do they want to go on a trip now, or they're okay whenever they go on a trip? And they're also going to show how long they're going to stay at the hotel and maybe where they'll sleep. Some of them will only fly business class. Some of them will sleep in a bunk bed room with somebody else. Some will only sleep in the nicest room of the area. And some will sleep anywhere, but they'll fly business class. So there's various stats on these different people. And as you draft them, you're going to be placing them in your tourist agency. You'll be putting markers here to show how satisfied they are. And each round, if you don't put them on an airplane, you're going to be moving them down. And if they hit unhappy, they're going to leave and you're going to lose victory points. Now you can use coupons. This is one of the resources of the game to keep them happy. You're giving them, I guess, coupons on a future trip. So the way this is going to work is each round of the game, players are going to draft these people. You're then going to put them on an airplane. There are 3 spots on an airplane. Some people will only fly in business class, so there's a business class seat here. Although you could put them somewhere else, but then you're going to again lose points because they're sitting in an economy seat. They don't want to sit there. While the economy people will never complain if you put them there. Now these are clean seat markers. If you put someone in a seat that's not clean, again you'll lose points. So you're going to have to be constantly, after someone flies and you empty out the plane, you're going to need more of these markers to put in these seats so that people will sit in more of them. Once people are done flying, they're going to land in a hotel. You need to have these clean room markers in the hotel. They will not stay in a room unless it has a clean room marker on it. And if they land and there's nowhere for them to stay, they'll just leave and you lose points. And again, you can put different people in these different rooms, although some people will only go to the nice room. And some people will go to the bunk bed room and they'll share with somebody else who's a bunk bed, so you can get 2 people in a room. Once someone lands there, you're going to put a number next to them showing how many weeks they'll stay there. And then these markers move down every turn and people will leave. But if there's, going to stay some more weeks, they'll stay in a hotel longer. So that's essentially the passage of these people. You're going to be putting them here, putting them on the plane, flying them to the hotel where they'll stay and eventually leave. But in the meantime, there's a phase of the game where you're going to roll dice and get the resources that are shown on the dice. That will give you fuel tokens. You need fuel tokens to move the airplane on the board. They'll give you clean seat tokens. They'll give you clean room tokens. And they can give you staff. Whenever you have staff, you'll draw the top 3 cards of the staff pile, and you'll be able to put these in different positions. You could have this person, for example, a maid working in your hotel. She's a one-time use, but she'll clean 3 rooms. This person here will help give more points to people staying at your hotel. You might have a pilot here. This guy gives you a free fuel every turn of the game. She gives you 1 clean seat every turn of the game, and you're going to pick where you put them. You can have 1 person on your plane, you can have 1 person here in your tour agency, and you can have 1 person at your hotel. So staff they're one use, or they give you a special ability every round. And that's it. Players are going to just keep doing that and moving their planes on this board. So you need fuel tokens to move, and so when you move to a spot, if you have tourists on your plane, they're all going to give you points equal to the things that match their likes. So if these 2 people are on my plane and I go to Queenstown, I'll look here, and she wants to go visiting sites and go out to the forest, and he just wants to visit sites. So he's going to give me 3 points, and I'll pick the higher of the 2, and she'll give me 4 points. So I get 7 points for going here. I can then pick one of these activities to do, and then I'm going to flip this card face down. It can't be visited anymore. So as the game goes by, there's going to be fewer and fewer places I can go to that will give me points. Points are kept track with on this board, and also when you go on an activity, you'll place your token on one of the activity spots, and when you fill a complete row here, you're going to get bonus points, and there's more rows available for 2, 3, or 4 players. At the end of several rounds, whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. The components for this game are kind of a mixed bag, because I have all these little tokens, the player tokens, and then the tokens. These are okay, but they're really easy to lose, and it's kind of annoying to me that the player token is very similar to like the clean seat token here. I wish they had made them different colors. The art on the cards themselves of these rooms, this is fantastic. I really like this art. The art on the people themselves is good in the sense that it's very diverse. We see all these different interesting people who are going to be traveling around, very, just interesting people. But they also tend to look like people that the artist knew, as in almost like Kickstarter backers, right? As you go through these different folks here, which isn't a bad thing, but it did take me out of the game. I'm like, ooh, I wonder who that guy is. Is he the designer's brother? Who knows? The dice are okay quality, and the boards are okay quality, but if you notice here, this is me just having 1 player set up here. This game's going to take up a lot of table space because you have these 2 big boards for everybody. This board itself is a little bit of an eyesore. So, again, the components are kind of a mixed bag. I like some of them, others are okay. So again, there's a lot of things in here that I like. There's a lot of cool concepts. I like the theming a lot. I like the idea of these people coming in, you got to get them on the plane, you got to fly them to the hotel, then they stay in the room, and then they go traveling. So there's a lot of cool concepts in this game. I was really concerned when I first read the rules. I thought, wow, as the game goes by, it's going to get tighter and tighter. You're going to have a hard time getting to different spots on the board, and you can get shut out. But if you plan ahead, that wasn't as big of a deal as I thought. You're definitely not going to be able to please everyone. You're going to be filling up with 4 tourists. You can only fly 3 of them, so you got to make the one who you didn't leave happy. Then they land in a hotel. Of course, some people are going to stay in a hotel longer, so you might only fly 1 or 2 next time because there's still people in the hotel. And then you have to make those other people happy, and it's this constant, this balancing act. That can be tough, but I didn't mind it. I thought it was interesting. I like the idea of, I need clean seats, I need clean rooms, I need to have coupons, and the staff is really fascinating, how they give special abilities. But a couple problems with the game. The biggest problem by far, and the reason I'm not loving the game, is the randomness of that die roll. So you roll the dice, those are the resources you get. You can take a die, set it aside, basically get rid of it, to turn another die to whatever face you want. That's a big deal, and you'll find yourself having to do it because sometimes you need fuel and you didn't roll any. I mean, there's the wilds and stuff, but if I roll better than you and get the resource I need, that luck is really powerful and I think can swing a game. Not only that, the staff. Some staff are clearly better than others. I showed you that pilot, for example, with the free fuel. That guy's pretty potent. Again, drawing him from the deck is nicer, especially if you get him at the beginning of the game, than maybe if you draw him on the last turn. So there's some luck involved in that. Other than that, there really isn't luck. You're basically fighting each other. You fly in from different sides of the board, but pretty soon you're going to be cutting in each other's paths, trying to figure out the best tours. The drafting phase is kind of a weird one. Instead of you keeping one and passing them, you keep a couple and then pass the rest. It's a funky draft. I wish it had just been a cleaner draft. Draw, keep one, and pass them around. But I like, again, the idea. I'm not going to say it's a bad game because the idea of moving these people around and scoring points is good. The only part of the game I didn't like mechanically wise was that sending them out on a trip and putting a token and trying to fill a line. That felt like an extra added thing. And I can't say it doesn't matter because those points really do matter. But it didn't feel cohesive with the rest of the game. The rest of the game was do this, move this person here, get this, try to fly these people. Oh, and then they go in an activity, stick it over here, try to get 4 in a row for points. It just felt like an extra thing. Had I been a developer, I would have just cut that completely from the game. So I give Tour Operator points for cool, unique, original theme. I like it. It looks pretty cool on the table. The theme matches the mechanisms, but it loses points for being overly lucky, a little fiddly because there's all these different pieces moved around. So it kind of bounces out to a game that I don't hate playing, I'll play it. I just really can't recommend it more higher because of those things. But that's Tour Operator. Keep making these interesting themes and I'll check them out. I'm Tom Vasel. See you next time. Dice Tower Judgment. I like it, but a little too fiddly and lucky.